Hello everyone, Matthew here from Red Flyer Tech. Today I'm giving you a full tour of my smart dorm room and gaming setup. Alright, so we're going to start from the very beginning. Right now everything is off except for the ceiling lights because I'm in a dorm and they're really weird sockets. They're like tube lights. I don't think they make smart lights like these, and clearly I can't rip open the wall. You can't see that, it's too dark, and wire anything into there. And we also have my light on my desk right there that's not smart plugged, but everything else is. So we have our Echo Dot right here, and if we say, Alexa, turn on bedroom, everything's going to come on. You can see these lights around the bulletin board come on, the TV comes on, the entire desk comes on, these lights here come on, and these lights here. Plus a few other smart tech devices that you may not have noticed at first glance. Alright, now I'm sure you want to see this side of the room first, but before we get there, we're going to start on this side. It's pretty simple. We have this lamp that I got from Target right here with 2 smart bulbs in it. The smart bulbs were actually part of a 4-pack. I think they were about $40 on Amazon, but they weren't branded. They weren't Philips Hue or anything like that. I think it was about $40 for a 4-pack. I'll try and find the exact order and link it below, or link a similar one. They are controlled with the, I want to say it's either the Casa app or maybe it's the Smart Home app. Hold on, let me take a look really quick here. It's the Smart Life app. You know, these apps are all dime a dozen, but they do also connect to Alexa. So they're in the lights group. I can turn them on and off, same with the LED strips. I can also say, Alexa, change desk lamp 1 to green. And it changes to green right there. They're called desk lamps because they used to be next to my desk, but I don't really do that too often because I like keeping the purple and gold. Alexa, stop. Anyways, I don't like changing the colors too much. If you go in the app, you can also make them change like rainbow, like go through all the colors. But Alexa doesn't let you do that. You have to use the app for that, which is kind of annoying. And what I usually do in the morning is I set them to be really bright to wake me up right there because I have trouble waking up early in the morning. So once you change the color to be like a really bright white, then you can't set it back to rainbow without opening up the app, and I can't be bothered to do that every day. So that's why I usually just keep it on the purple and gold. We have this tapestry that I got. It was supposed to go in front of the window there, but the blanket actually fit better in my opinion, so it went here. Of course, it has Red Flyer as the license plate. That's an Audi R8. We also have right over here, this is actually the Alexa compatible microwave that Amazon sells with my fake plant and my mask on top. Can't have enough masks nowadays. But I actually got this last year without even meaning to, really. I just got the first one on Amazon. It was like 50 or 60 bucks. I think it's a bit more expensive now. But what it actually does is if you open it and close it and, you know, technically you put your food inside, then you can say, Alexa, microwave for 5 seconds. And there it goes. It's pretty useless. You have to open and close the door recently, so you can't like leave your food in it forever and microwave it like while you're on your way home. Although I'm not sure why you'd want to do that because the food would probably spoil anyways. It's pretty useless. You can also tell it like, oh, 10 ounces of popcorn, and then it'll like calculate the cooking time, but that's something I never use. It's kind of a fun party trick though, and it's just nice. I actually live in apartment style housing, so I have like a dorm room, but we have our own kitchen. So I don't use this microwave too much, but it's nice if I'm like in the middle of class and just want to grab a snack without having to walk away from the computer. We also have the refrigerator. That's not smart at all. It's just a regular refrigerator. Air purifier and stuff like that. Nothing smart tech there. But here we have an LED strip that I'm going to talk about in just a second. Alright, we're back. Excuse the interruption. I had to actually take a look and remember what these LED strips were. So they're sold by Govee, and the interesting thing is that when I got them, they were actually only, I think, like $19, and they took them off Amazon for a while. I think they realized just how underpriced they were, and now they're back up for about $24, which is still a great deal, because once I get to the other side of the room, you'll see how much I spent on the other addressable LED strip. But as you can see, this one is addressable, and what that means is every individual LED, or in this case actually I believe it's every 3 LEDs, can be a different color. You can see those little black things are the little chips every 3 LEDs, and that's what allows it to be different colors and do the rainbow effect, as opposed to the entire strip being like red or green or blue. You probably, if you're watching this video, you probably know the difference between RGB and ARGB, but that's what it is. Usually they're a lot more expensive, but what was really cool about this is for only, I think it was like $18 and now $24, you can actually get the light strip, the controller, and the power supply all in one. The controller and the power supply are just behind my bed down there, and I just set it on the app. It connects via Bluetooth to your phone. I set it to do this rainbow effect, and I didn't really think about it. It's smart plugged on an Amazon smart plug, and Alexa turns it on and off. I have it in the app set as a light, so when I tell Alexa to turn the lights on and off, this is part of it. The only annoying thing is that when you do turn it on and off, it does a little flash sequence. I'll show you really quick. Let me pull out the Alexa app on my phone here. So here we are in the Alexa app. You're not going to be able to see it. It's not going to focus, but that's fine. If we go to lights here and we turn off window lights, and then we turn them back on, you can see it's going to do this. Oh, and we turn them back on. It's going to do this annoying kind of flash sequence, and the camera doesn't really do it justice, but it always like blinds me if I'm facing them because it just flashes like red, green, blue really quick before it gets here. But it's all right. It's a really great strip, really great value. I'll link it down below. I'll link everything down below. I guess I didn't mention that. You also have this blanket here that just covers the window. I just hate having windows like behind me when I'm on camera for like Zoom classes and things like that. It really messes up the lighting. So I have this up all the time just to control it. And if I want sunlight, I can always open these blinds here. But yeah, again, these are on a smart plug, and that's about it for this half of the room. Now this is where the fun begins. Let's start with the TV. So it doesn't come out too well on camera just because there's so many LEDs in here, and you might be a little confused about what's going on here. But let's break it down. So this is a TCL 40-inch smart TV. It comes with Roku. You can see the Roku remote right there. The Roku comes built in. There's no like Roku or Fire Stick or whatever. I don't even know how Roku works. I think it usually comes built in now. I think it used to be like on a USB stick, but anyways, it comes built in. I got this last year for, I want to say around $180. Which was honestly a pretty good deal for a TV. I'm gonna definitely link one down below, a similar one if I can't find the exact same one, but I wanna say it's around that price range. May have been more like $210, but it was around the $200 range, which isn't bad for a smart TV. I never really watched like cable TV, and being in a dorm, I think there's a coaxial port like behind there, but I don't even use it. Like I think I tried it and didn't even work. So anything I watch on here is gonna be on like Disney Plus or Netflix or something like that. So it's really cool to have a smart TV. It was a great deal, but what you're actually seeing right now is actually connected to a Raspberry Pi. It's totally behind the shelf here, and I could try and get you a view of it, but I'm not sure you're gonna be able to see it much. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it. It's mounted back there. It's just clipped right behind the shelf. Doesn't really matter though. You can Google what a Raspberry Pi looks like. If you don't know, it's a mini computer. They're rated to have like a super low power consumption. They can run 24/7, so it does. And then what it has here is actually a service called DAC which will take your Google Calendar, which is what this is on the right here. You can see my upcoming classes and events. It'll also take your Todoist or your own to-do list app of choice. I use Todoist, and that will sync here, as well as the date and the weather, things like that. And it just gives you a fun little display. This is actually the free version. There is a paid version. I used it for a little bit, and you know, I wanted to pay for it just because I use the service. I've been using it for over a year now, approaching 2 years, and I hadn't given them any money. But honestly, the free version's fine. I don't pay it anymore. It was only like $5 a month, but I felt like I didn't need it. This is totally free though, and it works great. I could do a whole different tutorial on how this works, but pretty much the Raspberry Pi is always on, but sometimes it does have to reboot if it gets frozen, like maybe once every 2 weeks or something. When the Raspberry Pi boots, it goes directly into browser and goes here in full screens. The TV is connected to Alexa, so I can say, Alexa, turn off Roku. She always does this when I film. Alexa, turn off Roku. I swear this never happens when I'm not filming. Anyways, I will say the Roku TV, it's a little spotty. It probably works about 15 out of every 16 times or so. I don't know why I picked such specific numbers, but every once in a while it doesn't work. But the good thing is the remote's right here. TCL or Roku, whoever makes these, actually makes good remotes, unlike DirecTV, which makes those horrid remotes that I have in my house that never ever work. These ones aren't too bad. It's not great, but it's much better than those ones. And as you can see, I set it to boot directly to the calendar input, which is just one of the HDMI inputs. and it comes right here. Now, if you think this is the only reason I have the TV here, you're wrong, and you may have noticed these cables down here. I do have a pretty good attention to cable management. So if you're wondering why these cables are exposed right here, you're gonna see in a moment. I actually have my Xbox controller right here, which is on a charging stand, and the Xbox is down there on that shelf next to all my books and my 3D printed lightsabers and some of my camera equipment. But I just turned on the Xbox with the controller right here, and if we change our input, we can say, let's see if she's gonna work. Alexa, change Roku input to Xbox. I have the inputs named. Oh, yeah, see, it didn't work. It's not totally reliable. It just about always works with turning on and off, but sometimes changing inputs doesn't work. But again, the remote's right here, so that's something that I don't really care to troubleshoot too much, or I'm not gonna worry about it too much. So we changed the input to Xbox right here, and as you can see, we have our Xbox set up right here as well. So I use this TV to play Xbox as well, if I'm just playing a game that I don't need like the really fancy monitor for. Playing Call of Duty on bigger TVs isn't the best, but honestly, this TV isn't bad. At my house, we just got a 65-inch 4K TV. Terrible for playing Call of Duty because the refresh rate is like a quarter of a second, I swear. But it's not bad on here. But the Xbox is connected to here as one of the inputs, or as one of the outputs, I guess you could say. What actually happens is the Xbox goes into what's called an HDMI splitter right here. And as you can see, the HDMI splitter has a button on top, and when you press it, it changes the input. So now you can see the TV no longer has an input here, and what happened is we just switched it to the other output right there, input to output, and it goes to this monitor right here, which right now is on my computer, but I could change the inputs if I wanted to. You just press the buttons right there, and the Xbox is connected to here as well. It's actually not connected directly to there, it's connected to my capture card, which is then connected via USB to the desktop. And then it's connected out of the capture card into the monitor. And that's if I want to like stream or record or whatever playing Xbox, or if I just want to play like Call of Duty or something more competitive and I want the better monitor. Now it's an Xbox One X. It's not going to be running at like 144 frames or anything like that, or even 60 frames. I don't think it does. But it's still nice to play on the smaller monitor if I'm playing a more competitive game. Anyways, let's move on. So I did miss one thing right here, and that is my router and the mustard cable coming out of it. I guess I should switch that, but oh well. You can hardly even see it. But this is just an ASUS router. I don't even know like the model number or anything, or the product number, whatever number, what it is. It's a little ASUS router. It's plugged into the wall. Of course, I'm in a college dorm, so it's connected to my school's network. But I really just use that for the smart devices. I actually use Wi-Fi on everything else on the Xbox, and I put in a Wi-Fi card on my PC. The reason why is my building is fairly new, but the infrastructure here is a lot older. So this router gives me at max like 8 megabits per second. And I know it's not the router because last year I got a lot faster in a different building. But when I use wireless, I get around 200. So it's not worth it to take the reliability of Ethernet when I'm literally cutting my speed by like 20 times or even more, 25 times. It's just not worth it. So that's why I use wireless, and it seems to work okay. But anyways, here we are onto the desk finally, the moment you've been waiting for. Right here we have my primary monitor. It's an Acer monitor. I don't know the model number, but again, everything will be linked in the description down below. It is 144 hertz, 1080p. This one's also 1080p. This was my mom's old monitor, I think, or she ended up not using it or something. That's how I ended up getting it. It's a Scepter monitor, although the R flaked off, so it's a something. It works well though. I've used it for a lot of different things actually, but it's been on my desk so far this year. The most unfortunate thing about it is the VESA mounts are like down on the very bottom of the monitor, which is why they're so uneven. I mean, this one's 24-inch, this one's 21.5, I believe, so I knew they'd be a little uneven, but the Acer one is normal and the VESA mount is dead in the middle. But again, the Scepter one is like weirdly on the bottom, so that's why it sits so much higher. But that's actually all right because it gives me a little bit more desk space. I have just a little photo of me and my girlfriend here. I have my notebooks for school there, and some fake succulents that I got right here. You know, I like real succulents, but they wouldn't have enough light here, I don't think. Also, like, look how high the dirt is. It would like spill all over the desk every time I tried to water them, and so the fake ones are just kind of nice. Onto the desk here though, we actually have this white mouse pad that I just picked up on Amazon for like $10 pretty recently. It smelled a little funny out of the box, but you know, it's a $10 mouse pad. It works pretty well. I just wanted something a little bit larger. We do have my Razer mouse here, which I got recently as a Christmas gift, and I am totally, oh, it's the Death Adder. You know what, this is the Death Adder. It's not called like the minimal version, but I'll link it down below. It was about $40, I think. It works great. I just wanted a wired mouse. In the past, I actually had a tiny Logitech G305, which was like half the size of the palm of, well, okay, that's exaggerating, but it's about the size of the palm of my hand, quite small. So this one actually like fits my hand, which is nice. I've enjoyed it so far. This is the Razer Black Widow Chroma version 2 Tournament Edition 10 keyless, I think is the entire name. I got it on eBay about 2 years ago. I got a pretty good deal for it, like $40, which brand new, these are like 180. Even now, like, you know, this probably came out four or 5 years ago. They're still like, usually like $70-ish. So I got a really good deal for it on an auction. I was a little sketched out like buying it on eBay. I usually don't buy tech stuff on eBay, but I figured it's a keyboard, so how can it go wrong? And I haven't had any problems. I might get white keycaps for it just because we're kind of going with the white aesthetic now. I think that would be pretty cool. That's probably the next thing I might buy for my setup if I buy anything. On the microphone here, we have this mic arm that is probably the one thing I won't be able to link because I literally bought this thing like 6 years ago. 5 years ago when I first started doing YouTube videos. It was a long time ago. It still works pretty well. I don't know how this thing hasn't fallen apart on me, honestly, but it just clamps on the desk right here. Here we have my second microphone. The first one was a Blue Yeti, and that one broke on me in like a year. But I've had this one for a solid 3 or 4 years. It's the Audio-Technica AT2020 USB Plus Edition. Again, that is USB. It's not an XLR microphone, but honestly, I don't know the difference. Like, I know what the difference is, but I don't notice a huge difference in sound quality. So I don't really mind. I'm not a huge like audiophile guy who's big into sound or anything like that. It sounds great when I use it for Discord or videos or talking on Zoom or classes or anything like that. So it works pretty well. It's a nice microphone. I feel like I bought the windscreen. I don't think it came with it, but it works great for me. The headphones, oh geez, what are these? These are the Razer Krakens, I think. Link in the description down below. I believe they are the Razer Krakens. They're the white version. They're wired. I had Asteroid 50s for a long time. They were like the second gen ones. They stopped charging. I bought a replacement one. It also stopped charging. So I figured I'd just go with something else. These are nice because they're really light, which I like because I wear them all day. If I'm doing like online school or if I'm listening to music while I'm studying or if I'm playing games or whatever, because, you know, they're really noise canceling, and I live with 3 roommates. We all have our own rooms, of course, but, you know, it can be kind of noisy and people above us, and the rain is super loud. I don't know if you can hear it during this video. It's raining pretty hard right now. But I wear those like the majority of the day, so I'm really glad that I have those, and yeah, they worked pretty well. They're about $90, I think. I'll link them in the description down below. Up here we have a ring light that I got. I have no idea how much I spent on it. It was somewhere between like $10 and $30. I want to say it was like 20. I got it on Amazon though pretty recently, just because I noticed when I'm in Zoom calls, like for school, the lighting is all over the place with the colored lights here. These overhead lights are like a little warm to my taste. They don't really look it on camera, but they're actually fairly warm. The windows and everything else, and then the monitors, depending on what I'm doing, can like light you or not, or make you red or purple or green. So that's why I got the ring light. It works great. Also, I do have 2 cameras. The first one right here is my backup camera. That's the Logitech C920 1080p webcam. I used it for YouTube for years. It works pretty well. I use it for class sometimes, like if I don't want to have this ring light in my face, like burning my eyes out, because if I'm using just this webcam, the lighting is usually okay. It has pretty good like auto white balance, things like that. But I actually use this camera right now, the one that I'm filming with. This is the Canon T7i. It's really dark in the side of the room, but I take the large microphone off of the top of it. I don't actually keep that on, and I have the mic on backwards right now because of the way I'm filming. But this is the Canon T7i. I have the kit lens in it right now. I actually do have another smaller lens. I couldn't tell you the size. I forgot. It's right down there. But it doesn't have auto, what's it called, when it like stabilizes the video stabilization. So that's why I'm using this one. But this camera usually sits right here, and I use that most of the time when I'm in Zoom, or if I'm like filming anything, or if I'm like talking with friends. I always use that camera. It looks really well. It looks really good. Works really well, especially with this background behind me with the lights. I usually turn off these big lights above me, but it makes a really cool effect. I really like the way it looks. I'm sure you'll see it in future videos. But it sits right here. I do, of course, have the HDMI somewhere back there that goes into the computer, into a little capture card that I got. It was an off-brand one for like $30, a USB capture card. And I also have this, which is just the, oh, that's the HDMI, but somewhere over there is the power supply that goes into it. It just goes in the battery slot on the camera, but it's plugged into the wall to give it continuous power. Okay, that was a lot. I think that's the entire desk though. The last thing we have here is of course my PC, and also the lights behind here. I can't forget those. The PC I built pretty recently. Some highlights, that's a 3060 Ti, which are impossible to get right now, thanks crypto miners. RGB RAM, because, you know, why not? Honestly, this is an i5 9600 3060 Ti. I went with 32 gigabytes of RAM, which was probably a bit overkill, but I wanted to fill all the slots, and I never had 32 gigabytes, and I just wanted the shiny RAM because I thought it would look cool. I know that's probably like the most mismatched part in the build, but I really like the way it looks. I've only had it for about two weeks now, approaching 3 weeks, but I could do more videos about that in the future. You can see the cables going out the back there, but what I'm really proud of is besides those cables going out the back, and of course the cable for the headset and the microphone right here, we really don't have any other cables underneath the desk. There's like a tiny one showing right there, but I'm pretty proud of this. You know, I should say that this isn't a dorm room again, so I can't be drilling anything into the desk, so that makes things infinitely harder. And while I'm here, I should mention this chair. It's just kind of a basic black leather chair that I got on Amazon for like $80, I think, $80 or $70. I think it was actually a gift. But I like it. I'll link it down below. I think my mom just got the same one because she wanted a chair for her office at home because everyone's working from home, and I think I told her to get the same one. It works pretty well. Nothing fancy, no name brands or anything like that, but I really like it. And finally, the last part of the setup is of course back here. And I did kind of tease this at the beginning of the video, which was probably like 30 minutes ago by now. Sorry, this video is so long. But we have this other LED strip that goes around the bulletin board here. I really like the way it looks. I've had it here for a while. Like my desk used to be over here, and I put it back there and it was cool that it was in the background, but I still like it over the desk. What's cool is that it's actually powered by this Arduino Uno right here. This is an Arduino Uno R3. This came out of one of those little test kits that you can like experiment with. I've done a few coding classes in high school, as well as one web design class here at college. I also did like one entry-level engineering class when we did some Arduino stuff. But it's really fun to code using the fast LED interface, code these LED strips. And I will say these are much more expensive. I mentioned this earlier. One thing to note though is that each of these LEDs are individually addressable. As you can see, next to every single LED, I believe, there's a little chip. Here, there's a little chip. There's a little chip here. Maybe it's every other LED. I don't know, I haven't actually looked this closely at them in a long time. Maybe it's every other LED, but either way, I believe these are like 300 LEDs, whereas that's like 100 or something. You can just tell that these ones are spaced out a lot more. On camera, you probably can't, but like you can kind of see each LED on the top there. You can see like the hot spots, whereas this one is a lot more smooth because again, there's more lights, and this one's a lot brighter too. But because of that, this strip alone was like $30, I think, and that didn't even include the power supply or the controller. Of course, this is the controller. It came out of a kit, but if I hadn't gotten it from the kit, I think it would have been like $9, $10. Power supply was also another $12 or so. It's behind the desk down there, but I'll link all of those in the description down below. And we have our posters here. And one other thing is we do have acoustic foam behind the whole setup here. My roommate actually got me this as a holiday gift, as a Christmas gift, which was pretty cool. It was a little tough to put up just because, again, dorm room, so no like drilling in the wall or anything like that, or putting anything permanent up. I should also mention my cable management is pretty good. Of course, we have the keyboard and mouse. Nothing I can do about that. I can't drill in the desk or anything. I do have one exposed wire right there. The reason it's exposed is because it controls the ring light right here. I have to like bend behind the desk to get it, so I'm not going to do it, but it changes the colors and the brightness, turns it on and off. Not different colors, but like different temperature, from like warm to cool white to like average white. But yeah, I think that's about everything for the room. This video turned into one long thing of me rambling, so I might cut it down a little bit. We'll see. I have my Surface charging here, AirPods, that's where my phone goes, and Alexa. So yeah, I think that's about everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to drop a like down below, comment what you want to see in future videos, and subscribe. I know I left this channel for about 5 months, 4 or 5 months, just sitting on its own. But I do plan to make more videos coming soon, so stay tuned for that. But I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.